perhaps the Count will find a way to make his monster work today. For if he solves this monster mania, he can return to Transylvania. So welcome where the sun won't shine, to the castle of Count Frightenstein.
Hey everybody, how you guys doing? Welcome to Between Two Worlds Radio on the UPRN radio network, and we are actually live on location in my house, and I've got a great guest coming on tonight. We're going to be talking about a little bit of, I guess you'd say, the Halloween pre, and in the Halloween pre is all to do with scary stuff, and I mean, let's put it this way. This young lady who I've known for a long time, and I actually was working at another radio program, or radio station, and she was working there as well, doing her own radio show. And when she got started into this, it went from a small little show to gangbusters, but it became very frightful in the end. So she's been doing it for a long, long time. And so tonight, we're going to welcome Jackie Chin, and she actually has a show called Zombiepalooza Radio, and she's actually has been doing this program, or Zombiepalooza Radio, and some televised versions of it now, because she's running off of Zoom, the new program, and she's kicking butt and taking names, because she's been talking to many, I would say, people that are in the zombie genre, from movie stars to writers, directors, you name it. We're going to talk more about it because she knows a lot of people in the industry. Plus, she's been involved in the cosplay, so she's really stretching herself out thin. And sometimes you don't want to really make her mad at times because she'll bite you. But we'll talk about that later. She knows how to stand her ground when she makes her ground. Hey, welcome, Jackie Chin. How are you doing?
I'm doing very well, and how is my dearest friend Derrick Whiteskycloud doing?
I'm doing really well. You and I were always staying in contact with each other for such a long time, and your show that you actually have is called Zombiepalooza Radio, and well, basically it's all to do with zombies. And what made you decide to get into the zombie genre? How did that all begin?
Oh my goodness, zombies, yeah. So, sometimes people enjoy zombies to help them forget about all of, like, real life and things of that sort. So they like movies, and they like reading books and all of that cool stuff. And a lot of times I've found that people with post-traumatic stress disorder enjoy the genre as well. And so, long time ago, gosh, back in 2012, I believe, my husband had a very bad, severe bout of post-traumatic stress disorder. And I knew that he had a lot of friends that enjoyed the genre, but mostly they were just typing to each other, emails and direct messages and things of that sort, and they have never heard each other before. And I thought, well, we know, you and I, the power of sound through doing radio. Mm-hmm. And I came to you and I said, what do you think about bringing all of these people together and letting them talk? And, we could do it for maybe a couple hours and see what that does, see if it does anything. I was basically desperate back then, trying to figure out what I could do to be able to help.
Yeah. And so, from there on, she was just trying to figure what she wanted to do. And she was on location. She was actually at I think it's a baseball grounds?
Baseball stadium in Niles, Ohio, yeah. And they were planning a haunt for the end of October. And I thought, well, I wonder if we could do something from there. So I went over to Cavelli Field, and I talked with the people that were running the program for that particular event, and they said they thought it would be a great idea. So, I was going to take my laptop, and I was going to, do a setup from there, and I thought they'd put me in a room, and I would just broadcast from there. But that didn't happen. The event happened, and we did go, but it didn't happen the way we planned it. That old adage of mice and men, and all of that. Best laid plans of mice and men.
Yeah. And here's the cool part, folks. She wanted to interview folks on location, but she didn't know what to do from there because she didn't have a mic.
I've never done that before.
She'd never done it before. And it's something she always wanted to do. And I said, look, I'm the producer of the station. I'll be your producer. We'll run your show on location. For the very first time, this is 7+ years ago.
Yes.
And we'll go, and I said, all you need is your cell phone, and I can interview them while you're on location. So basically, at the same time, you're interviewing them, I'm interviewing them. So we get to interview what kind of people?
Well, I didn't know we were going to be doing it that way. So I was like, oh, really? Well, that's a nice idea, Derrick. But I think that maybe we should. And then the kicker that Derrick said was, we're live right now and everybody can hear you.
Yeah.
So I went, oh my God, I got to go into producer mode right now.
Yep. And you did.
Yeah, so, it was so cool. We went up to people who were in cosplay and in different variations of zombies and monsters and all kinds of really cool things. And we asked them, what it was about dressing in this manner that they really enjoyed. And they just loved being able to go to an event where they could express themselves and they could show the different kinds of special effects that they could do, or they could talk about their favorite character that they cosplayed and all that. And it was really, really a very fun experience.
I think the most, after we recorded it, now folks, if you want to see that interview, you can go on to YouTube. You can type in Between Two Worlds Radio, as well as you can type in Jackie Chan Zombiepalooza Radio, and you can see the whole video.
Oh, yeah.
And you'll see some of the characters. Even her kids were there.
Yes.
And they dressed up as zombies.
That was the first time for them.
Yeah.
First time for them,
and,
yeah.
You think about it, zombieism was just beginning to come out then. I mean, that's 7 years ago. People were just starting to, I guess you'd say, wanting to dress up as zombies because it was just becoming a fad, because possibly maybe it all to do with the TV series.
Well, yeah, there was The Walking Dead that came out. And do you know that within the very first season, they were not sure that show was going to do much of anything. Mm-hmm. They thought, well, we're going to do a season, we're going to see what happens, and man, it just took off like wildfire.
Who started zombies?
Who started zombies? Well, I guess you would have to go back to Haiti. And the whole mind taking over the mind of a person that was either, I don't know, they were dead or they were just mostly hypnotized. And the Haitian priestess would get them to do their bidding. And movies, I guess, in the film industry, it started around the 1940s with a film called White Zombie.
And so when the movie White Zombie came out, did you feel, when you watched it for the very first time, do you think that it had the same effect from that movie compared to the one that is now today?
When I watched that film White Zombie for the very first time, it had been at least 1 or 2 years that I had been within the process of Zombiepalooza Radio, And listening to these people as they were talking about either being on The Walking Dead as a zombie or creating in that. And I thought, you know what? I really want to do some research about what it is that kind of like started this whole process. That movie was absolutely amazing. It was done in black and white, and it was like, wow, it was, I would say, in the 1940s, the essence of it was like Night of the Living Dead when that came out with George Romero. And I guess you would see that would be the contemporary of it. But Romero, when he first made that film, he did not call them zombies. He called them ghouls.
So we need to pay homage to the late Romero, because he actually reestablished the zombie genre back in the 70s.
Oh, yes.
And where they were just walking slow, arms in the air, like, stretching out, so to speak, and they were just like brainless, so to speak.
Yes.
And what were they chasing? What were they trying to do? What was next for the zombie to do?
Well, the big thing was they wanted brains, and they wanted human flesh.
So basically, if they got bit and they go for the brain, you become a zombie.
Yes, very much through bite. Now we have viruses that can start a apocalyptic zombie apocalypse. We have, well, of course, contagion, which would be, I guess, virus. And there's still people biting, but there are a lot of different variations of zombies now.
So, okay, now for George Romero, do you know how many movies he's ever done for zombies?
Oh, Lord. At least
4, 5, 6.
4 or 5, at least 5 or 6 that I know of.
Okay. And then other people came on board because others decided to do zombie movies later on down the road, but they changed them up a little bit. I noticed it because they would mix a little bit of a zombie with Frankenstein, a little bit of zombie with a Wolfman, a little bit of zombie with other people, and even the late Michael Jackson even put a zombie into his film. So it became a musical thriller.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Thriller is amazing what he did with the special effects and with his dance, of course, but I loved that he brought in the actual voice of Vincent Price.
That's why I played Vincent Price in the beginning of the show.
That's so cool. Absolutely so cool.
The intro of Vincent Price on this one, when I started the program, is actually from the TV series The House of Frightenstein.
That's what I was trying to think of, because I'm like, I'm listening to this and I'm like, boy, I recognize that.
Billy Van played the characters, and he was good at it. So basically, I used to enjoy the show. My most favorite character, well, two most favorite characters was a Wolfman, who actually played the DJ, and my other favorite character was Griselda, the Ghastly Gourmet. He played her, and he was doing stupid. Play the gal. It's supposed to be a female witch, but it's just things that he would quip and put a personality into it. Mind you, there was no zombies in the castle of Frightenstein, but when he had Igor, he had a good variety of people, and they did have ghouls. We did have ghouls. Yeah, he had ghouls, but he had them in a way that even he gave Igor the floor. He gave Igor the opportunity to be the comedian. He was actually doing all the shticks and part of
So within Zombiepalooza Radio, I have a zombie that is a co-host, and he is able to talk and is able to be coherent because he has a enchanted headset that he uses. and it allows for him to be able to engage with people and talk to them about film and acting and all of these other things that are like just so very cool within that particular area. Yeah. So
let's talk about some of your characters. Once you decided to get this to carry on from the beginning, you went from 1 hour of Zombiepalooza radio, and then it caught on because then you decided, well, I'll give another hour, so you decided to do 2 hours of Zombiepalooza radio. And it became even more of a hit, so you thought, okay, it will go to 3 hours. So you were bringing in so many people that were so interested, wanted to come on the show, talk about zombie. And then it went, and here's the funny part, folks. It went from 3 hours to 4 hours, and then 5 hours.
Straight.
You're the only one that I know that does 5 hours of zombie radio or any radio broadcasting singularly. You're the only one. You've been doing it faithfully for over 7 years.
Yes, we're going into, as a matter of fact, oh my goodness, I think we actually are a solid 7 years right now. We're going into our 8th year as of, I think, the 12th of October, the 12th of this month. Yeah, crazy stuff. It didn't really start out to be something like that. It just started out as something that I wanted to see if someone I deeply cared about could get some benefit from it. And then it boomed into such a crazy amount of hours. But the other thing is that we also go all the way from New Zealand all the way down to Australia and all points in between. We have hit 4 or 5 other countries as well, people coming in onto the show. I also, on top of just the zombies, we have broadened into horror genre. And we also do dystopian and a number of other things, depending on what the theme of the show is for that particular week. But we cover everything from books to films to screenplays to how to do your own projects and bring people together. We've had so many people to come together and collaborate, which is amazing to see what they can do. The greatest satisfaction is when someone messages me or calls me and says, hey, we're doing this project because we watched your show or we listened to your show, and have been picking up tips on how to do things, and this is what we've created from it. First time somebody ever told me something like that, I was brought to tears because I was like, wow, somebody's actually listening and they're really paying attention and it's helping them. It's a beautiful thing.
Before going even further in zombies, but also, like you said, you mentioned about your husband having to, I think, either he has PTSD or others have PTSD
Yes.
in the military and the veterans. What has the veterans got to do with zombies, and why do they like them so much?
Oh, wow. For a long time, people would say, oh, you're doing a zombie show. Oh, that's like so cute. But what are you going to talk about? Blood and guts and all of that? Well, really, what we talk about is a way to be able to help people be able to take some of the things that they've seen in real life and be able to process, either through getting the ending to be different so that there is a more pleasant outcome, or sometimes getting the ending to be different so that it is just beyond horrific. And it really depends on the individual that's creating, but it allows for them to process. It's fascinating. I've had PhD people come on that teach in colleges, universities, extremely high level, and they are teaching classes on apocalyptic genre and how it affects people socially and psychologically.
And how is it doing for your husband? Because your husband also has
A retired veteran.
A retired veteran, and has this helped him as well because you're involved in it all the time?
Well, he's written 3 books.
Oh my God.
Apocalyptic books, Survivors of the Apocalypse by K.R. Chin. These books are very practical in nature. They don't have foul language in them. They don't have sex scenes or any of that other kind of thing. They're books that you could pick up and go, I might learn something from this.
It'd be really hard to see a zombie actually have sex. I mean, it doesn't work that way.
Yeah, no, but people they think that they want to make something different, and so they'll throw something like that in there. And I'm like,
I'm in love with a zombie. I'm in love with a zombie. Ah.
Really?
He turns me on. I don't think so.
I don't know. No, not at all. Not
Start seeing the blood drool from his mouth. Oh yeah, that turns me on.
Wow. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
That'll be interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now something I want to share, ask you as well, and that is, now that you've gotten into being more involved in the zombie genre and into the Zombiepalooza radio, you've had a lot of travels throughout the years now, and you've been meeting up a lot of people that have been, I guess you say, remarkably interesting because. Especially, let's put it this way. The TV series, you even had people that were actually costume designers, basically make themselves as zombies. And there's a fellow by the name of Eric. What was his name? Eric?
Oh, from Face Off?
From Face Off. What was Eric's name?
Oh, yeah, my buddy, Eric. Oh, Lord.
It's a short last name. Oh, boy, he'll slap us now. Anyways, he actually won one of the shows on Face Off, and you had an opportunity to have him on the show.
Yes, I wanted to start getting more to branching out more into the practical side of zombies, and I love special effects. Especially practical special effects where it's all hands-on and technique is everything. So I went and to the page of Face Off on Facebook, and I started looking up people to see if we could get someone to say yes to come on to the show. And not only did they say yes, but I had a full 5-hour show just with people from Face Off, and the experience was amazing. Some of them talked about things that were very, very personal to them as far as why they got into special effects in the first place. A lot of them had been very horribly bullied when they were younger, and even in some of the most recent years, within the last 5 or 6 years, they've still had some situations where they've been bullied because of either their technique or because of the kinds of work they do, or seen as, you're much more talented than that. Why are you involved in this? Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
And so now, I'm going to see what Eric's name again is here.
I'm getting off my phone. Like,
I can tell you right now, real quick, where Eric is. Let's see.
Yeah.
Eric.
So, I haven't thought about his name in such a long time. It's C-E-R-I-C, Eric. Eric Fox.
Fox. Yeah, Eric Fox.
Yes, sir. And I've had R.J. Hattie on, and not like at least 3 or 4 others, a few ladies, and all of them just had such amazing stories as to why they got into doing that. And because of that show that we did, we started getting more into the film development. And because I was very interested in using light as a way to be able to move a film along, and how it changed some of the effects that they did. Very, very interesting things.
Yeah. So now, have you ever... Now, you also have been make-upped, because they actually, someone made you into some sort of a demon or zombie. I'm not sure what it was.
One time.
You got done, too. They did you up.
Yes. Oh, my goodness. GD Effects, my buddy over there at GD Effects, he said, yeah, we're going to do you up as a zombie. And I went, no, but I'm not a zombie as a host. And he goes, that's okay, we're still going to do it anyway. So, oh yeah, he was absolutely amazing. And yeah,
so how did it feel with the makeup going on you? How did it feel? Did it feel like it was claustrophobic? Did it feel like it fit? Did you feel like you can wear it? How long you were able to hold it to wear it? He
is so talented in prosthetics that it really felt like a second skin. It didn't feel like I had this really big huge appliance on. They not only he did appliance around my eyes and up in this upper portion. The bottom half he did as just straight up makeup and different kinds of, effect down here. But let me tell you, taking it off, it was my first real experience with latex.
Yeah? Did you try?
And there was no Vaseline underneath any of that before he went to go and do my face, which I have found out since. Also, putting a light coat of wax on your eyebrows. If you plan on putting on a full prosthetic or doing your face up with latex anywhere near that, you're going to thank me later, because my face, let me tell you, for 6 months, and I'm Sicilian, we have a lot of baby hair, facial, and all that, smooth as a baby's bottom for at least 6 months. So if you want an instant wax, but it
wax on, wax off.
Oh, was that so? Wax on was really good, but the wax off,
wow.
Oh my God, that hurt.
Wow, that's so funny.
It was bad. Danny Glick. Danny Glick is the gentleman from GD Effects that did my prosthetic for that. And it was amazing. We had a really great time. That same day, we also did a commercial for Tactical Bacon. And if you look up Joshua Chin and Tactical Bacon and you put all that together, you will see a 5-minute, I think 20 or 30-second film that we did for Tactical Bacon. Yeah. Tactical Bacon, I wanted to get them as a sponsor for the show. And they sent me a full case, and this thing was huge, of Tactical Bacon. What that is actual cooked bacon that they can send to our military, and that they can have bacon in the field, because there are a lot of countries our military is in where they cannot get it know-how because of either the beliefs of that particular area or the fact that they're in the middle of the desert somewhere or wherever they might be.
Well, that makes sense, because, I mean, there are some countries that don't like bacon or are not supposed to have bacon. They find that very, that makes a whole lot of sense. Like,
Tactical Bacon.
Well, here, let's attack a country. We'll bring bacon with us, and maybe we'll chase them away.
We've thought about, we have a, since doing this show, we have also had a couple of people from various areas in the field that have actually called into the show and talked about their books or their films that they're working on. And there was this one gentleman who called in, and as the show was going on, I heard a very loud explosion in the background.
What?
And I'm like, I got there was quiet, there was silence. It was like, oh my God, what just happened? And he goes, oh, don't worry about that. That's like, thousands of yards away. We're okay. And he kept right on going. I was like, dang.
Was he working on a project?
He was one of my authors, and and he happened to be in the field live in a war field.
Yeah, live on location. That's
crazy stuff.
Wow.
I've had people, oh my goodness, I've had people from the UK calling, it's 1 a.m. at their time, like say it's 8 o'clock here, Eastern Standard Time, and it's 1 a.m. and they're calling in from all parts of the UK. Sometimes it's like 3 or 4 in the morning for them. Sometimes it's even the next day, like New Zealand. It is amazing what these people will do to be able to not only get the word out about their works, but to get onto the show itself.
I'm looking for your little... Here it is. Here's the one right here. Okay.
Uh-oh.
There it is. I'm going to put it up on the screen.
Derrick is the only man on the planet.
That's what she looked like, folks. I have her on the screen.
Find stuff about
right
me.
now. So that's what she looked like. That's what they did when they made her into a zombie.
Oh my goodness.
Isn't that cool? That is so freaking cool. So yeah.
Yeah, he did an amazing job. That's Danny Glick from GD Effects, and they're over here in, I think it's Newton Falls, or somewhere around. It could be Austin Township. But over near Warren, where we are, amazing people, GD Effects. They've gone on to do a number of films too, since that commercial that we did. Oh my goodness!
And throughout the few years that I've known you, and I thought, okay, you know what? I was helping you out, make some banners to help promote your show. So I decided to make a few of them up. And your kids are zombies as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you got Jade in there. Jade is standing behind these bars, and she's like kind of like trying to get at you through the bars. Do you know? Oh my goodness, what Jade is doing now? Jade is a zombie in a haunted house. It's called Regal Vineyard and Corn Maze Zombie Run, and it's in Madison, Ohio.
Yeah.
And oh boy, she's just really enjoying scaring the pants off of people. And we have Lee and Nico, the youngest pair. Lee has taken over the page. We have one for the young people that enjoy zombies. It's called it's Zombiepalooza Junior Zombie Zone, and they can get things that are PG or G rated on the page. There's coloring things, there's different kinds of ways to entertain themselves, projects and all of that kind of thing. And Lee is admin on that page. She also has done a number of interviews herself. She's very good at doing it.
So I'm just pulling up some old files that are from another radio station at the time, but these are some of the I'm actually showing some posters of what I've done for you, and so some of our listeners and viewers can actually refer back and have a look at them. But these are the pieces that
we've gone through
quite a few.
We've gone through a lot of different kinds of things as we have evolved the show, like zombies evolve.
Yeah.
The show has evolved.
You have evolved because now you're carrying a samurai sword.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I am a vampire zombie hunter, and I have full set of swords, and that's what I use. And and on the show, definitely vampire.
She's the Kill Bill version of zombies.
Yes. Yes, yes.
So, like I said, folks, there's some of the posters I made for her, and she's been, yeah, we're teasing you here, so we're sharing some of our.
That's okay.
Yeah.
I'll get you later.
But anyways, it's been a lot. It's been a lot of fun doing, getting involved and being part of this. Now, I want to talk about some of the people that you had on your show, on your program. Who do you find as a writer, or even writer? Some of the writers, who would be your most interesting writer that's has changed it up a little bit, make it more. They, it's not just a zombie. Now they're using animal zombies. They're using beaver zombies. They're using, and going into different ways of even making zombies smart, not dumb.
Well, let me think about this. Have you ever heard of the zombie named Bub?
No.
No. All right. So Bub was the very first zombie, I think, that could actually understand and have thinking process and all of that. And he was also cameoed on The Walking Dead, not too many years ago, maybe 4 or 5 years ago. And I know the guy that did that cameo. That guy is my co-host, Dead Door William, who's also known in the acting field as James Barker.
Cool. I remember when it was at AMC or some other television program would not
AMC.
They would not allow him to even mention his name on your show.
Oh wow!
They were so protective of him.
Yeah, that was 2 years into having James on, and James as himself, just regular.
Yeah.
And he came onto my show one evening because I wanted to interview him for his work as an actor. He not only was on The Walking Dead, but he also did documentaries and different kinds of things for the History Channel and other side jobs that he had done as an actor, and mainly as a background character. And it really, within what he did when he first came on, he was so nervous. And he was only on for half an hour. But he was so scared I was going to start talking about The Walking Dead and start barraging him with questions about the show itself and what's going to happen next and all that. And we didn't do that. When we bring an actor or someone that has a project that is something that you just cannot talk about, we don't talk about that particular thing. We talk about them as an actor, or them as even if they were like a composer and did work on a soundtrack or whatever. We talk about, and sometimes very much in depth, about the process of what it is they do. And so James, he was really, really nervous and all that when he first came on, but then after a while he started really getting the hang of it. And then we got an email from AMC that said that we were no longer able to bring on background artists from The Walking Dead. And I went into like meltdown because I had gotten into a particular groove with James, and I was devastated. We were both trying to figure out what the heck to do. So you know what we did?
Yeah.
We made him into a zombie and hid him in plain sight. And that's how he became Dead Door William. And so as Dead Door William, he is able to talk about acting, and he's able to talk about different kinds of life basically as a zombie, and the different kinds of things that he has to go through. And it really progressed into something that was really, really amazing. I got to watch him also develop into a more well-rounded actor.
Good. So now, one thing I couldn't understand why AMC was so protective,
Oh, you know
even
why?
as background.
Because they didn't want my show, my little show,
Yeah.
was starting to give a lot of attention to background artists from their film or from their show.
Oh.
And they did not want to get some of these people recognized. Since they were out there,
Is it
because
AMC?
they didn't want to give them more money. It's all about the money, Derrick.
Yeah, but you weren't paying them.
No,
Yeah.
but they were getting more and more recognition.
Yeah.
And the AMC was very concerned that these people were going to say, hey, I'm doing this stuff over here. Yeah, maybe you need to pay me more.
So basically, it sounds to me that AMC was being cheap, and they were trying to keep people from...
Not only were they stopping them from doing anything that was on like a radio show or a paper written interview, they were stopping them from going to conventions. And that was a big, huge, oh my goodness, slap in the face, because a lot of these people, when they are not on doing a show,
so basically, you have to be a speaking artist before they'll let you go anywhere.
Yeah, and I think it's still like that.
Now, is Dead Door still working for AMC?
No, Dead Door, his season was over. I think season 3 or season 4 was his last time that he was in there.
Okay. So has anyone hired Dead Door back again through any other...
He had to go, and as many of these actors who do background work, he had to get like a regular job because there was some family things that were going on that were causing some stress, and he needed to do that. So he has done a couple of documentaries. And I think he did one about the Civil War, and there was a couple of others that he had done. But I think he may, within the next year or two, maybe 2 years, get back into doing some more acting. But it's very difficult for them to be able to be a part of film life and on the off time be able to find a job that actually swings that way so that they can do both.
Has anyone ever asked you to be on any of the TV programs of Zombie?
Not TV programs, but I have done a couple of films.
Say which one, if you can.
Let's see. I did a bit part in A Wolf in Sheep's Clothing that is produced by Eric Priestley, and it was done 2 years ago.
Is he related to Jason Priestley?
I don't know. That's a good question. But no, Eric is local to, I believe, Niles, Ohio, or he's an Ohio artist, and he's working on a couple of other films. He is a producer. I did also help with doing a music video. I did some coordination for their what they would wear, and a little bit of background photography for the music video itself. And that was for A Wolf in Sheep's Clothing as well. So there's a music video. It's called After Dark, and it is done by, oh my goodness, I'll have to get that information too because I can't remember the band right now. But the song is called what is it, Chin? Oh, I'm sorry. It's called the band is called Culture Shock, and the song is called After Dark.
There you go. See, you got your support system back there, just carrying and listening in, and goes.
Yeah, he's getting ready to go to work. He's getting ready to go to work.
So you've been involved a lot lately this year, as well as probably last year, with cosplayers.
Oh yes.
And what's it like being involved as a cosplayer, but you're interviewing people there as well?
Yeah, we have had a couple of people who are cosplaying as Rick Grimes from The Walking Dead. I had a gentleman on just recently, within the last month or two, that cosplays as Rick Grimes. There's another gentleman that I want to try and get on. I just messaged him the other day, as a matter of fact. It's interesting to see how he relates to people when he goes to conventions. People, because he has such an amazing likeness, really, some of them freak out, and some of them are just like just thrilled that he's cosplaying this, and they can get a picture with him. The show has really meant a lot to a lot of people. Very, very, very deeply attached to these people. And it's just fascinating experience watching him go through the process and what it's like for him. When I had him on the show, he was originally just wearing a baseball cap, and his wife, who is his manager, I texted her and I said, get him to get the hat on, go get the hat. And as soon as he put that hat on, it was like, this was Rick Grimes. And he just went in, his body movement changed, and his tonation of voice changed. It was interesting to see.
You know something I was just trying to look at here. There was a part that I'd seen you do. You're at the table with someone, and he was a large guy. I forgot his name all of a sudden. He had I think he was bald and had a beard.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so Chin, that gentleman that we met at one of the conventions, the really, really tall guy that took me and spun me around. Do you remember his name? Oh my goodness.
But because you were so interested in his interview, because I remember watching it, and that he talked about it being as far as the what he was putting together. His words were, the zombie or the horror scare fest was going to change more because some people were starting to get bored of it, or not completely bored, but they needed some change ups. So for some reason, whatever he had stated, he says it's going to change things up to the point where they're going to come back again. It's going to be absolutely just as interesting to go to a scare fest. It is actually a common cosplay. Yeah,
it's sometimes people get very, very used to the same people all the time, and there's of course the interaction between the actor and the guest that's coming in to meet them, but it can get kind of stale, and for things to be able to be brought up to a level where they're excited again, we gotta give them something that they sink their teeth into.
Mm-hmm. And that's where you actually sunk your teeth into it. So,
do I still have? Yeah, he's a very, very gigantic man. He's 7'2" at least, and he's very, very broad-shouldered. I just wanted to talk with him, maybe shake his hand, but he came from around the table, and he got very, very into character almost immediately, and I was like, oh my goodness, now what? It was really cool. I will see what I can do to be able to get the name of this gentleman because he is so soft-spoken as well and extremely intelligent.
So what we're talking about, folks, is this is Jackie Chin, and she's actually those who are just coming into the chat room. I want to thank everybody for being part of this. Welcome everybody to also the Facebook chat room, and my show's called Between Two Worlds Radio tonight. We are interviewing Jackie Chin, who actually has been involved a lot through cosplay, and she herself has her own radio show called Zombiepalooza Radio. And it's been going on for a long time, 7+ years, almost 8 years now in a celebratory time. And how she got into it is just amazes me, because I remember one time you were actually saying you weren't sure if you were going to stay with it, and or even a few times, but you were determined.
Yeah, I had gotten myself into a rut where I was just bringing on the same kinds of topics all the time, and I was like, there's got to be something different. There has to be something more that I can express or build out from. And I took a year off because I don't ever want to go on and do a show where I'm just like, yeah, okay, yeah, well, that's really cool, and that's boring. So I wanted to do something that had some meaning and that would get the attention of people out there. And that's when we really started broadening into bringing more people about film and the screenplay process, and allowing for people to be able to really get what the indie experience is all about, including indie radio.
Yeah, because basically you're helping right now today are a lot of the people are just beginning to get into it.
Yes.
Just starting out. And I think that's absolutely phenomenal on that part, because, you've been doing it for the last 7+ years. And have you ever re-interviewed some of them, actually have them come back to your show again, and how much they have excelled into their work as a writer or director, or, that sort of thing?
Oh yes. Part of my way of seeing if I'm really making a difference is to go back into books that I've had where I've written people's names down and information and all that, and bring them back on. First of all, ask them if they would want to come back on. Luckily, I have had most of them say yes. And when they do, I ask them, what has it been like? What has your process been like since you first started in whatever it is that they're working on? And you can tell by how their interview has changed and the kinds of things that they hold important as they're progressing in their interview process. That they really are making headway into the direction that they want to go. It's fascinating.
Okay, so basically I'm trying to get Jackie's picture back again, or get her face back again. We lost her on the video. Are you still there?
Yeah, I'm here. Okay. Can you hear me?
Your face is frozen.
I'm froze, but over here I'm moving around all over the
I know, for some reason, here's what Skype does. You're only good for an hour, and then they freeze your face.
Oh, no. Oh, no. I'm frozen.
Gee, this is what happens, folks. This is how it turns out. See, Jackie's frozen. She's in freeze frame. We got her in freeze frame right now. That's funny.
So I have a new way for you guys to maybe do this and probably work out a lot better. And this is not sponsored kind of thing. Zoom.com is amazing. You don't get the freeze ups and all that other kind of thing.
Well, we'll have a little chat with Joe Montaldo. Maybe he may know something about it, or no, I'm not sure. But eventually we'll sit down with him and
check it out.
He's the owner of the company, and see what he thinks about it. I'm sure.
Derek, would it help if I went out and then you bring me back in again?
Yeah, we can bring it back in again. Sure.
All right.
Yeah.
So I just hit the red phone?
Hit the red phone, and then just bring yourself back in again.
And I'll be right back.
Okay. So basically, this is Jackie Chin, and we're talking to her about Zombiepalooza Radio, and like basically, this is the beginning of Halloween. It's getting pretty close. It's halfway through the month. And so this is what we're doing. We're talking about a little bit about Halloween, and figure, well, zombies relates to Halloween, and it's quite interesting. So let's see if we can get her back in. Let's see here. I'm in, and let's see if she's in. Joe, can we get her back in again?
It should be dragging her back in.
Yeah.
Let's see what's going on. Actually, y'all never left. Only the video left. Y'all were there. The video wasn't there. I said, oh, well, that's interesting to see that happen.
Yeah.
That could be a numerous amount of things cause that, though.
Okay.
Oh, nope. What is it doing now?
We'll bring her back up.
There we go. Stop.
Oh, now, see, I lost it. Now it's my loss. Oh, okay, let's try this again. Join the call. Join. Okay.
What the weirdness is going on with that? You can hear me still, Derek?
I can hear you. Yeah.
Okay, I was just making sure. It's been a little... I don't know what's going on with her, but I don't know, that's weird. It's saying she's doing the call with us. That's a very strange thing.
That's crazy, man.
It just says well, I noticed on all software you get ghosts, so I mean sometimes it happens, but it's kind of weird that's going on. Plus the damn air conditioner damn loud. Yeah, it's just
is it hot? Is it hot in here?
If I drop you, I'll bring you right back.
Yeah, just drop me and bring me back. Okay, he's going to bring me back. Anyways, yeah, this is quite interesting. We're at the top of the second hour, and I've always wanted to talk about zombies, so to speak. Everybody's always wanted to have a chat regarding, what's it like to experience wearing Hollywood makeup and working in the film industry. And I thought it'd be kind of cool idea to do this because there's a lot of people who always want to experience it. And I thought, okay, we can do that. So let's see if we got Jackie back.
Yeah, you good.
Jackie, you there?
No, she's not back. She's I think the issue may be with her actually. Let's see.
Okay, let's see.
Yeah, see, it's not on our end. She's gonna have to reboot her Skype.
Okay.
I closed eyes and rebooted her.
She's basically, here's what Jackie said. She says, "Hi, have him send for me again." So she's saying, do it now.
Okay, I'll try setting her up again. She must, yeah, for some reason, her Skype is blocking her out.
Oh.
I've seen it happen before. Usually you just got to restart your Skype and it's usually good. But
yeah.
Hold on. Let me try to get her again. I'll hit her with both names. That ought to make her crazy. Yeah, you see what I'm saying? The second name it picked up. The one we were talking to her on, it refuses to pick up. It's blocked out. It's blocked out on her end.
So basically,
it's something to do with her computer and Skype.
So she may have to shut it off and refresh.
Yeah, she should just turn Skype off and turn it back on. Just go out of it completely and reboot it. Because her other name it called no problem. I can see it up on the screen.
Okay.
She's wearing a black dress. She kind of looks gothy, actually, in that picture.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jackie Chin unavailable, yeah. That's what it is. She's either got to log in under another name or just reboot the Skype. It happens.
Yeah, it happens. We got it. No problem. Anyways, folks, it's been good. we're still going to be hanging on for Jack, and we're trying to keep her on. But while we're doing this, next week I'm going to be bringing back another good friend, and hopefully we'll get him on. It's going to be Johnny Enoch, a good friend. We've had Johnny in the very beginning of my very first show, and we're going to be talking about the history of Halloween.
Hey, who is that guy?
So
I've never heard of
that's
that
gonna
guy
be-
before.
Huh?
I've never heard of that guy before. Who is that, man?
Johnny Enoch?
Yeah, I ain't never heard of him before. Who is that?
He's very well known in the UFO industry.
Okay, man. I've been in UFO world for 35 years. I ain't never heard of him, man. What you talking about? What you talking about, man? Come on. I'm just messing with you, Derrick. Go ahead, man. It's dangerous when I have an open mic around.
Yeah. What can I say?
Let's see if we can catch you while you're doing that. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Man.
So what do you think? What do you think of the zombies yourself, Joe?
I stay away from zombies, man. Look, I tell people all the time, people ask me all the time, why don't you get involved with more in the paranormal stuff? I said, look, I do with aliens and abductions and all kind of weird shit. I said, I got a whole radio station full of paranormal investigators. I said, that's their job. They chase zombies and ghosts or whatever the hell they want to chase. And I said, when they get videos of easy peasy, I get the benefit of seeing that.
Yeah.
It works good for me.
Yeah. And the cool part is, like, here is someone who actually knows, who's actually involved in just straight zombies, anything to do with zombieism. So, and this is what I've always liked about that. So,
let's see what we got here.
Let's see if she's coming in now.
Yeah, I don't know if she's online. Let me see if she's online. I'll pop it right
I wrote back to, I told her, I said, turn off the computer and refresh and see what happens. And then, so as you're...
It just... Yeah. See,
We'll find
it
out
doesn't
why it
show
locked
me over
out.
here if she's online or not. That's what's irritating.
Well, see, the thing is, once the person's been on, and like I said, for some reason, I don't know why. I mean, I was okay with my last guest last week. No problem. Just straight up, no problem. This time, for some reason, Skype has this way of... you're good for an hour, and then we'll turn off your camera, and it's just going to freeze you. I'll go, what the heck for?
I don't know. See, I never have any kind of problems with that Skype. Skype, I hate to say it, Skype knock on something, but Skype usually works really good for me. And for most of the hosts, we usually don't have any problem with it.
Yeah.
I got to be honest, what I've learned most of the time about Skype issues or ISP hiccups is what causes the issue.
Yeah.
It's not so much Skype or your computer, it's your connection, because... I have a business class connection here, so we don't really get hiccups in it. It's guaranteed 99.9% uptime. Yeah. So I don't really worry about stuff like that. But I can see it on my end sometimes when a host... some hosts are bad about running things in the background, too, while they're on air. Mm-hmm. It's great. If you're running like an 8-core computer with 16 gigs RAM, that's fine. You're running a 4 computer with 2 gigs RAM, no, that's a bad idea. You're going to lag yourself down. And it'll make Skype lag down, because Skype loads is a big program. It loads a lot of energy up. So if you're running a bunch of stuff in the background, it'll cause it. But if your IP provider, if you live in a neighborhood or if you live in a rural area, if it's got to travel a long distance to the hub, or there's a lot of people around you, it can cause hiccups. And all it takes is one hiccup, and it throws the whole system out.
So our listeners are asking, Joe, where they can find the radio show, the link, so they can actually watch me on the screen.
Oh, just YouTube. Just go to... actually, the best way to do it is go to uprntalkradio.com. And the YouTube button's right there. There's actually 2. There's one in the top left corner, one in the bottom right corner. The bottom right side of the page. But you go right there, you see it big and red. And when you first load the page, it'll actually start playing on its own, but it's just audio that plays on its own. Yeah. But just look to the left, and you'll see the little YouTube emblem up there, and Spreaker underneath it. Just click it, and it brings you right to the thing. You'll see it'll say between two worlds. It'll say live underneath it. Just click it, and you're in with us.
Okay.
It's really easy, guys, and we make everything really easy these days because a lot of people listen to us on phones. About a third of the audience, maybe even a little more. So we try to make it as easy as possible. That's why most of all the emails and the links are short ones. It's just it's just easy to remember. It's easier to mess with, and it's less loading times on people's phones and stuff like that.
Okay, so I went to the page UPRN, and then on the website.
You see well, somebody give me this one.
The banner on the right side, and that should...
No. It says YouTube. It's just a YouTube. It just says YouTube on it. It's a little YouTube page. The little, pretty little red button. Yeah, it's
with the red cross.
Here, I'll show you. But it's easier for me to tell you when I'm actually looking at it. But pop this up. United Public Radio. Dun, dun, dun. Yeah, see right underneath the number. So.
Okay.
Wow. Sorry, that's a page plan. If you see the station calling number right below it, it says YouTube. Just click, put your little mouse right over the YouTube button and click. And you're right there. Hit between two worlds. And there you are.
Okay.
It's that quick, man. I mean, it's really, really, really easy. You just got to click on the YouTube button.
Click on the YouTube button.
Yeah. See, it just says YouTube. Just put your mouse anywhere over where it says YouTube. It'll take you right there. It'll highlight it. You just click it. Okay. The whole YouTube thing, the whole YouTube banner is a button.
Well,
the banner itself is a button.
This one right here.
Huh?
Okay.
You got it? It pop up for you?
Yep, I got it.
Yeah,
I understand how that works.
That's the easiest way to get the video. I mean, you can always go search United Public Radio on YouTube, but it's just easier to go there and do it like that.
Yeah.
Let's see if she came back online yet. Oh, wait. There we go. We got her back. Okay, on the other name. Cool. That worked.
Oh, I just,
We got her back.
Hey, how you doing?
Hey, how you doing?
You know what? Part of this live radio kind of thing, especially with video and all of that, we have the experience of what it was like when people came on and did live radio, just regular audio. And also, this is combined with kind of sort of a little bit like live television. And, things happen.
Oh, yeah, definitely. But, that's good. Now we got her back. Folks, see, she's back. Yay!
Hey, woo!
I'll put applause on here.
Radio, at its finest. We don't quit, right?
No, never. See, that's what happened when you're a zombie. You never quit.
I know, yeah. You just
go for the brains.
Yeah, absolutely. So, where would you like to go now?
Well, we're not done yet because I want to talk about your upcoming ideas. Like you actually are putting on, if we can talk about it, you're getting more involved in other things that relates to your zombie work. And part of it is actually in film, and I think someone says they're talking about a zombie land park.
Dude, you're gonna bring up, dredge up.
We talked about that 2-3 years ago.
You're gonna dredge up some memories that are not exactly all that pleasant. Here's a lesson for those who get into the higher areas of by doing talk radio and indie things, where you're actually starting to touch some of the higher levels of people as far as talent. Be careful who you surround yourself with. It's just like in an apocalyptic event. Want to make sure you know the kind of people that are with you. Want to make sure they're not putting holes in your boat. You want to make sure that they're the real deal. Because I had this one guy who came, he had a brilliant idea. He's like, we're going to do a theme park, and it's going to be apocalyptic based, zombies and all of this other kind of really, really cool stuff. And he came to me and he says, I know you know a lot of people, actors, people that can do construction work, people that do film and all of that, and it would be brilliant. And we could bring your radio show on and into the main of the theme park and all of that. And, oh, wow, I worked on that idea with him for 2 years until I found out that most of the time he was lying.
Yeah.
Flat out.
And you were so looking forward to it because that idea would have worked.
Yeah, we would have actually moved to Atlanta And we were going to be right in the middle of all of that with the theme park there, and it would have done some like really, really cool things. I was disappointed that didn't work, but it did lead into other directions where I started getting more involved with people who were at the base of the top shelf of talent, and started going to more conventions and started doing some film work. That's about the time when I started getting into indie film myself, little bits here and there. I even got at one point asked to direct a film, and I was like, no, I'm not comfortable with that. He goes, but you direct a 5-hour show weekly. I'm like, no. Maybe in a year or two, I am liking the idea of directing. I think it's pretty cool, but what I would like to do eventually with this show is get a live studio audience. And we are working on a couple of ideas in downtown Warren. There's a co-op, and in this co-op they have a studio setting where we can actually bring people in and film from there. And we can have guests up in the front like we do on the show, but they're right there and you can talk with them. And the audience would be those who were involved directly in indie filmmaking of different branches, different areas, different talents and all that, to get them together as far as networking. And I'm really excited to do that, but on the other side of it, I want to throw up because it's scary.
It is. Do you, if someone says to you, you want to come with us on a location and put on some zombie makeup, would you do it?
Would I do that again? Probably not. Because
well, you're like, all rest the hair will come off.
Well, yeah, I don't want to do that again. I think that now my daughter Lee, she's all about the special effects and doing all kinds of things like that. She loves it. And some of my other children are all about it as well. But no, I like, I'll just keep my vampire thing going on, and I'll show up at your event, and I'll bring people. But no.
What's the meaning of the samurai sword, or is that just because you're playing the warrior role?
That's a very, actually, it's a very, very personal kind of thing for me. Swords are like a source of empowerment, and as well as the vampiric side of what I do. And although I don't have post-traumatic stress from military, I do have it from childhood trauma, decades of it. And when I go to that part of my personality, when I do that, it's a source of empowerment for me too.
Good. How many women zombies are there? Are there more in the TV shows, in books, or there is men?
Oh, that do the creation of apocalyptic and zombie, especially zombie genre. There still are more men that are involved, but within the last 3 years or so, there have been more women that have come into the field, and their ability to be able to create stories that would really like scare the heck out of you is it's very strong. Some of them, though, some of the women, they prefer still to use only their initials when they are putting their creative work out there, because there still is this idea that women are less able to get into the gore and the trauma that happens in an apocalyptic situation.
So, comparatively to from a female perspective as an actor, zombie actor, Have you ever met any women that actually dealt with, I would say, depression after they played the character, or depression during playing the character during some of these shows? Have you heard any of those?
You know, I've had some people when I go and I ask them about either their creative process, whether they're on the side of producing it or on the side of playing a role. There are more people who have come from the area of depression already and different types of mental illness, where they're able to feel more like themselves, more comfortable with themselves. There have been a few people who I have asked if they cast you in a particular role, or they're asked to write a particular part for screenplay or for book, and it goes against their particular personal values, or it strikes a nerve, what do they do? Mm-hmm. And it's very much like processing the trauma as if it were real for them.
Do you get dreams or nightmares of zombies since you've been involved the last 7+ years doing Zombiepalooza Radio?
I can say no to that, but I can also say that the dreams that were horrific before I started being involved in this, I have had the ability to be able to change things around and make them so that they're not so scary.
Who are one of your, or some of your favorite writers that you've had on that you always get them to come back?
One of my favorite is Matt Hay. Matt Hay is in Australia, and he is absolutely amazing as far as talent. He's very funny. He's also very family-oriented and very deep into the research of how to put out a good story. Alexa Wayne, oh my goodness, Alexa Wayne, she has a magazine, and it's out there, and I'm trying to remember the name of it. Oh my goodness. I'm gonna have to give it to you in a text message. My part of the reason why I have problems remembering is that my short-term memory is not exactly what it should be for someone that's, just regular. But I do remember the name Alexa Wayne. She's been on my show at least 3 times.
So
and
is it Alexa?
Alexa Wayne.
So
W-A-Y-N-E.
So she's from Westminster,
California? Gothic Bite magazine. I remembered. Oh, yeah, Gothic Bite magazine. She also writes in the Vampiric, and she has a wonderful story about, I think it's called Vlad, and it is about Vlad the Impaler, and amazing, in-depth, historic reaccounting, I guess you could say, of Vlad the Impaler. But her ability to be able to create characters and give them life is amazing. And I've gotten to watch her process. Rihanna Frater, she writes young adult, apocalyptic young adult, and she has some really, really cool stories out there for people of that age group, but she also writes for adults too. She is very thorough when it comes to plot design and creative process.
So she goes by the name of A.D. Wayne.
Yes, A.D. Wayne.
That's why I couldn't
And
find
see, what I was saying a little bit earlier, that there are a lot of ladies that are out there that are using their initials.
What is it with the public? I mean, is it the producers? Like, is it the
It's still that old boy kind of mentality, but the barriers are coming down. Sometimes what you have to do is get in there with a sledgehammer and just knock them down.
Okay, A.D. Wayne, the author of Mrs. Blackwood, releasing the second edition on Tuesday, July the 30th, 2019, goes for her second appearance on ZRL, which is Zombiepalooza Radio.
Yes.
Yeah, and that's what she placed in there.
Oh, yeah. I've also had a gentleman on, his name is Luke Vors, Vors. He wrote a book, Lie, Lie, and he is right now taking this book and going to bookstores and selling out at these meetings with people when they come in to pick up his book. Amazing with the process that he has of writing plot, and his character and visual design is very much screenplay ready.
No, Matt Hay is just Hay.
Yes, Hay. Matt, Matthay.
Okay.
Matt Hay.
Let's see, Matt Hay. Let's see here.
Yeah, phenomenal writer. I've had him on the show at least 5 or 6 times, and have really been able to watch him progress.
Oh. So you're saying he's in Australia?
I believe so.
Okay, that's fine. Let's have a look here and see who's in Australia.
I think Australia.
It says here Matt Hay from Sydney.
Sydney, Australia.
Let's see if he's the right guy. Have a look here real quick. Yeah, he's a friend of yours, and so he's a writer for Optimus Maximus Publishing.
Yes. Oh my goodness, Christina. I think it's Haggis, Haggis. Optimus Maximus Publications. Oh, amazing. This woman has the talent to see about getting a good collection of creative writers, and just absolutely crazy cool what she's doing over there. Can't say enough good stuff about it.
Cool. There's Matt Hay, and there's... So this is husband and wife, or... Yeah.
No.
Just friends.
Just friends, yes.
Okay. I'm just popping them in there to show the our
good people.
Viewers.
Good opportunity to be able to sink your teeth into some really cold brain candy, is what I like to call it.
Now, I'm trying to say what else I got here. I was going to share with you.
There's lots of stuff.
Yeah. What plans do you have now for the season? I mean, you got this year.
Oh my goodness. Well, for because we start our season in October. So this next year, what we really want to do is we want to get out to as many conventions as we can. We're still going this October. We haven't done any live 5-hour shows this October because we've been going to conventions on Saturdays. Mm-hmm. And if I have a convention or a haunt that we're going to be going to, then I want to make sure that, we're really, putting our all into doing that. I think we are going to do our first live showing for the new year, the first or second Saturday in November next month. Things should kind of start to settle down a little bit. And really what I'm very much interested in doing this year too is getting that live audience experience. And so we're going to be working with people that are local, but we're branching out. We're going to Youngstown, Cleveland, Lorain, if they want to drive out that far, Trumbull County, Cuyahoga County, those areas. And we're finding that there are a lot of people that are coming to Cleveland to do indie film. And I also found that Cleveland State University, where I graduated from 2 years, almost 3 years ago now, they opened up a film school.
Wow.
And I'm like, yes, that's exactly what we need. So I would like to go there and see if I can do some seminars there as far as what it's like to produce a show like this, and also to be able to get people that are in the film industry and coming up to be able to do some live interviews there.
What about your kids? What are they actually following Mama's footsteps at all?
Lee really enjoys the interview process. Nico and Lee both enjoy the going to haunts and doing the special effects and learning from them. We have been going to a haunt. I'm trying to remember what the name of the haunt is. Sure, if I talk about it a little bit, the brain will come to me. But a Blood View. We've been going to Blood View, and that's a haunt that is produced by Legion of Terror, and you can find Legion of Terror on Facebook. They have a really cool page over there. And John over at Legion of Terror, who does Blood View Haunt, they're amazing. That haunt has been in process for 30 years, and a lot of their special effects people went to the show Face Off.
Wow, really?
Yeah, I was like, we got invited to go before the haunt went live a couple of weekends ago.
Well,
and
before you go any further, I remember that some of the judges wanted some of the guys from Face Off to to create the characters to try to do a scare on the public. Do you remember that one?
Like Skype.
So this is what they've done. They tried to do the scare part, and I thought it was quite interesting. Did I lose you? Oh, she just froze. Okay, that's why she says, I don't like Skype. She got frozen again. Oh my God, here we go. Okay.
Yeah. And are we good? Good?
We got you back.
Okay, cool.
We're back. We're back.
Cool, thank you. All right, so you were saying?
I watched your expression. You went, I don't like Skype. And then you froze.
No.
That's funny. It's like, where's my fangs? Ah.
No, right?
Yeah. So, we were talking about the guys from Face Off, and remember the part, there's a couple of seasons back, I'm not sure if they're still doing it now, a couple of seasons back where I can't remember the guy's name who was a judge, but he actually encouraged it was a competition, have these guys do in 3 different groups to create these monsters.
Mm-hmm.
And then the public had to experience by walking in and see these monsters actually look real effective enough to scare them.
Yeah, because what they're trying to do in that particular setting is get something that is ready for camera ready. Going to take pictures of it, use it for movie posters and for trailers and things of that sort, or to take it and put it right on a movie set. And that's really what that show was really about.
Yeah, just keep on talking. I got to go back.
Sure.
Hang on a second.
So, allowing for the process of putting a monster together and taking it from concept all the way up to post-production is really what that show was really all about. And if you were able to be in the studio audience or allowed to be able to go up close to some of these creations, absolutely amazing, the detail that they would put into them. Do I have, Skype wins again. So, yeah, pretty much. Are you still there, Derrick? Oh my. Let's see. Give a shout out to United Public Radio for tonight's show. And thank you very much to Derrick Whiteskycloud for bringing me on.
Mm-hmm. Sorry, guys. I was trying to find something to share with our public, but I couldn't find it. So I went, oh well, I'll have to wait till next time.
Hey, so United Public Radio, pretty cool to hear what you guys got going on.
They're 107.7 FM. They're located out in New Orleans, so they get
wow,
they get to hear us as well. So we
New Orleans. I was there about 6 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Amazing place, especially when the sun starts going down. And the buildings that they have on Bourbon Street and in the French Quarter, they seem to like come alive. It's just amazing experience.
Yeah. So it's something that I've heard so much about New Orleans. A lot of people that I know actually have gone there even for a vacation, so to speak. So.
Oh yeah. I got to spend 3 days down there, and I was at a convention for something else, totally completely unrelated to what I do now. But wow, yeah, we got some experience to go and got to meet some of the local people, eat where some of the locals eat, which I highly recommend if you go there because it's a lot cheaper, and you get a more natural experience of what it's like to be down there.
Now, just to let you know ahead of time, folks, and as well as Jackie,
sure,
I'm going to be in Laughlin, Nevada in February for 3 days at a UFO summit. I'm going to be a presenter, one of the presenters there.
Oh, wow.
So if Jackie ever wants to make the trip to see me, that's where I'll be at.
In Nevada?
Laughlin, Nevada.
Yeah. Get me the information, and I'll see if I can get a ticket up there.
Sure, I'll put it up there. Any of our listeners, viewers actually want to see what I do. It's all to do with my experiences as a UFO. I'm not going to say abductee, but I was more contactee.
You had a very serious experience, and it lasted a long time.
Experiences, so to speak.
Yes, yeah, there was like
all my life.
Good. Yes.
Yeah. So I mean, but mine wasn't traumatic. Mine wasn't like, well, in one way, it was uncomfortable until I got used to them. Mm-hmm. But not scary because there were people like us, but they're much like way freaking tall, taller than a basketball player. And but when I got to know them, they were friendly as all heck, and they really all they wanted to do is help. And so that's what and I guess my good friend Johnny Enoch convinced me to be a speaker, as well as many others who are involved in the UFO field. And they said,
what do you think about all of these sightings lately? I mean, and then with the Air Force coming out or military coming out and saying, that video that was actually leaked, it should never have gone public, but now, I mean, it's out there, bam, and they're like, yeah, these things are real.
Oh, no, they're all over the place. And the thing is that there have been people that have actually had had videos for such a long time, and tried to release them even on YouTube, for example, and sometimes whomever is involved in government has blocked it from from playing.
Yes, especially lately within the last year and a half, but the last 6 months, they've really clamped down.
They're like, basically, no, we don't want anyone else to see this, because they consider it as, I don't know, they think they need to protect us, or they don't need to protect us. They're trying to make it as if they're the invaders, but actually they don't realize that they're the ones that created us. So they put us here, but yet we are not supposed to fear them. We're supposed to work with them. Now, mind you, there's the odd alien that you can freaking be pissed off at that does harm to you, but most of them don't. They're very friendly. They're trying to help. And the reason why I'm saying this, why I'm bringing that subject up, because being part of the UFO and the zombie genre, there has been movies recently. They're bringing up aliens as zombies. So they're saying that aliens are coming from a planet and they're zombifying people, so to speak. Now they're making that, like, they're trying to use every aspect of every character. I mean, there's one I remember, a zombie beaver. Like, duh. There's a whole bunch of beavers living in a pond or living in a lake. And now people can't go to the certain lake because all these beavers are attacking people and they're eating their brains, not their bark. There's cats to become zombies. There's, I mean, it's come to the point where the kids...
Do you think that they're trying to make it so that it's not as scary, and so they're making it kind of like silly looking, so that it's something, if we do have an actual event,
well, let's put it this way.
It's not so scary.
When they had Jaws, when Jaws came out back in the 80s.
That was scary. I remember seeing that at the drive-in.
Yeah.
Well, I wasn't supposed to be watching it. I was
70s.
sitting in the back seat, but...
Jaws came out in the late 70s. When Jaws came out, everybody was absolutely scared. And there was no zombies back then. So the first thing was... And there was even people so scared they wouldn't even go into their own swimming pool. They were so freaked out by the swimming pool. But if you go further back a couple more years before that, you had... Guess what? She was spinning her head and throwing up green soup.
Oh, yeah. Exorcist.
Right? And again, people got freaked out, and they believed that girl, the actress was, Linda Blair, was possessed.
For a long time. Even
to this day, sometimes I still think that she's that way. Because they keep replaying and redoing the movies.
Sure.
Over again. So the thing is that, and again, there was no zombie in it then, but again, the fear of
possession. It's the fear of possession. It's the fear of something else taking control of,
which is all called the unknown.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Absolutely.
Right. So the thing is that there are so many people now today. Now, think about this. I mean, you put a zombie, and demonic zombie, would it be worthwhile to put in a movie or in a book? As in, a person dies, become a zombie. Then a demon comes in, a demon comes in, and the demon possesses the zombie. Now you get a demonized zombie, and he's like both, like as evil as all can be.
Dude, have you ever heard of Nephilim? I'm just saying, that's there were some not real. I mean, they were eating humans. They were picking them up, and chomping down on them like candy.
Well, so, Nephilim actually was not all.
Not all of them were bad, but there were a lot of them that wanted to eat.
Well, that was because they weren't known as, well, not entirely candy, because the ones that I work with actually are from that area.
So I think there's the 10% in every group. I mean, if it is that way here in this particular dimension, I think that it would be like that in other dimensions. And as far as the idea of aliens and things of that sort, Okay.
They even tried to bring back E.T. and make him a. They made a movie out of it, and they put the very same characters back in. They're all grown up as young adults, and they made E.T. Like a zombie, like they were killing and eating people. Did you know that?
No, I did not know that.
Yeah, the movie came out. They did it. It's in YouTube. I'm looking at it like, are you freaking kidding me? They're going to release it. All the characters that Steven Spielberg made, now they made them evil. They're making the Banana Bunch, the old TV series. They turned them evil.
Yeah, what is up with that?
Why are all the fun characters now become evil? Why are they putting them on to make them into movies? But they make them like zombies too. They made the Banana Bunch. The Banana Bunch. I mean, these are supposed to be funny characters, and they're supposed to be zombies. And now they're supposed to be killing people. Now you tell me.
Yeah, I heard about that. I did hear about it.
That screws up your childhood.
Well, I mean, I had a screwed up childhood anyway.
But think about it.
What I don't like is that they're allowing for this to happen as if there is absolutely nothing new that they can do. And they're trying to stunt, I guess, the creative process a lot of times in that. And that may or may not be a government thing. I don't know. A lot of people say that government is all up into every major film production company out there. Probably right.
Mm-hmm.
They're I think sometimes where some of these films will change the tide of how they want people to see politics or each other. Sometimes, that making it into the us, not us, so we'll fight. But look at films like Rocky. When Rocky first came out, the very first one, people were coming out of the movie theater and they were like all pumped up and they were excited, and they, it gave them some sense of purpose, because it was not only a feel-good movie, but it took this man from all the way down at the bottom and brought him up through hard work and perseverance. What's wrong with making more films like that? Instead of these goofy remakes of stupid characters killing.
It says E.T. the Extraterrestrial Return, official trailer, Steven Spielberg, Henry Thomas movie. I think this is supposed to be the one that... Let's find out for a second here. I'll check it out.
It's crazy what they're doing, and it serves absolutely no purpose other than to make people feel I don't know. It's not a feel good thing. I don't think everything out there has to be feel good. Sometimes I think you should put something out there that has a real life ending. Some of the stories that people bring onto my show have real life endings where the good guy does lose and the bad guy wins.
Okay, so this is the one here. I'm looking for it.
That's bananas, though. I mean, no pun intended, but
yeah, no, actually, it's called the E.T. the Extraterrestrial Return, and then it's E.T. kills people like their own people. They're not pretty. Yeah, and all the characters that were the kids, E.T. now is. Not himself, but all the other ETs that he's with, kills everybody.
I don't know. I had not heard about that. I don't watch too much. Since I've been doing this show, I don't watch media too much. I don't. I do read books. I enjoy that, but I don't watch too many television movies or films. I can't even remember the last time I was in a movie theater. It's been a while.
It's funny. Anyways, Jackie, thank you so much. We're going to call it a night. Thank you so much for coming on. It's been a lot of fun, folks. And if you want to find Jackie, how can they find you?
Zombiepalooza Radio Live on Facebook, and we're also on Instagram. You can, if you have an idea for a future guest, email me at zombiepaloozaradio@gmail.com.
Here we go, folks. Take care of yourselves.
Dim. There's no one left but me and him. When next we meet in Frankenstone, don't come alone.
That's how it works. Take care, guys. Great night. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks, folks, for joining me as well. It's been a lot of fun to do, and we'll thank Jackie Chin for being part of the program, and also thank everybody else that's on the program. Hope you guys enjoyed yourself. We'll talk to you guys next week. Next week, my guest will be Johnny Enoch, and we'll be talking about the history of Halloween, and there's a little cliche in it, so if you want to keep your ears and eyes and ears perked for next week, we'll take care. We'll talk to you guys next Thursday, 6 o'clock, 6 to 8 p.m. Pacific, and that would be 7. No, this week. Anyways, we'll talk later. Take care. Talk to you then, guys.